Where are you? And I'm
I'm
so
so
sorry.
sorry.
I cannot play my games because I have no arms. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 81 of the Game and Talk podcast here on Nuke the Fridge Gaming. I'm your host, Joey Ferris. I am joined this time by Alejandro Chavez.
Hello. How do?
Hadouken. And joined also by Kyle Campbell.
Namaste.
Nah, I'm gonna stay.
Nah, me too.
Oh no, there's a water bottle behind me. Should I move that?
Probably.
It's next to my Wii U. You see it?
Well, as long as there's no brand on it, like it's fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
As long as it's Nintendo brand water, I think we're all gonna be okay.
Yeah. I actually had Nintendo brand water when I went to the Switch event back in February 2017. And it was
gonna make a joke like you take a sip and it takes like another year and a half for it to come to your mouth.
What does that even mean? But yeah, we're gonna have a very light episode today because most of the panel is gone for some reason. But knowing Josh, he'll probably join in like in 3, 2, 1. I wish that would have been so amazing. That would have been like
Sure.
Mission Impossible face. Amazing. But we're gonna start off this episode a little simple with something we haven't done in a long time, I don't think. What you playing? So, Alejandro, what you playing?
Let's see. What have I been playing? I've been playing some Undertale. I've also been playing a little bit of Fallout 4 again.
Like 4 again? You're
Yeah,
not playing the brand new Fallout 76.
Nah, man. Nah, I can't do that. I
can't bring myself.
I'm an old man at this point. I don't know if it doesn't have single player or like customizable clothes. Nah.
Or just plain working. Nah.
It's got to have at least one NPC that's like a human.
Hey, it turns on. Okay, just chill.
What turns on? Okay. All right, I'm just retweeting the message on Twitter, which you guys should do right now.
Kyle, what you been playing?
Yeah, distract him while I do this.
I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Let's Go EV. I'm having a blast. I finally caught my shiny Psyduck.
I saw.
Yeah, dude. Man, it was so hyped. Like, oh man, I'd been hunting that thing way too long for any sane person. But other than that, let's see. Today I tried Warframe on the Switch.
Oh, I haven't tried that yet.
It's not my thing. I can definitely see the hard work that went into it. Like, it's a good game. Even the Switch port itself seems to be really good. From the footage I've seen of like
some graphical comparison to that, and it's just like, wow,
right?
They did a damn good job.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of things where I'm like, I would rather just play this on a PC though, because like, it's definitely a Switch port. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad it's there for the choice of having it, but I personally would rather play it on a console, like a dedicated home console or a PC.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can because it's free.
Right? No, it's
free literally everywhere.
It's just more room for them to be like, "Hey, kids, play our game. We have microtransactions later."
What? No. You know what else is microtransactions? Red Dead Online, which I have not been playing.
They're not that bad. Me and my roommate were just playing it. Well, he's still playing it, but
I don't even think it's the fact that there's microtransactions like fully to boot yet. Mm-hmm. I know like more of them are going to come in later because Rockstar likes to make the microtransaction money. But sorry, I'm having a lot of trouble with my PC right now. Where are you? Where are you?
We're reading the stream. Where are you?
But
I wish you could like add voices to your titles, really like don't. MySpace status, just like whenever you click on a video.
Oh my gosh! But what was I gonna say? I heard Red Dead Online. Like, it's not even that the microtransactions are there, and they're gonna be there, and they're gonna be wild. It's the economy of the games, like, super doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah. I saw one where I saw an example. A can of potatoes costs $1.30. Gold engagement ring costs $1.15, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, the payouts for some of the modes in the online are a little like sometimes you win and you get $5, or like a part of a gold nugget.
Mhm.
It's very like unbalanced at the moment, from what I can tell.
Mhm. That's what I'm saying. I haven't tried it yet. I might, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to support that sort of thing that's happening right now.
You don't want to
So-
support people's jobs?
No, fuck their jobs.
Well, this game's gonna make $1 billion.
Oh no. Yeah, I know. I'm giving Joey a hard time.
Yes.
I also found that it's actually pretty buggy. I don't know if you guys have had experiences with that, but I was surprised at how buggy it was.
Yeah, usually because like the single player game is not that buggy, really.
No, it's not.
Yeah, but then you
If
got
anything, the single player is usually kind of like physics weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you know, like GTA 5, that like the physics when you'd fall and stuff was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But like the online, you can see the regression and like, oh, we have to kind of remove some quality to make sure the online runs smoothly. Yet there's still like, oh, I stepped on another player, he shot a gun, and I somehow flew out of boundaries.
right. Oh, my
It's
horse tripped on another fucking rock.
It's like Battlefield level of humor with their bugginess. Because like I remember the first guy we ran into online, it was just this dude, and he was riding a horse, but the horse wasn't running, so it's just this guy. I was like, are we playing Monty Python online?
No, that happens when I play Blackout on Black Ops 4. It's somehow worse when after they kill me and then like their torso disappears, and I'm just like, I am really mad at you right now because A, you killed me, B, you're surviving without a torso, and it's just driving me nuts.
A, you killed me, but B, are you okay?
Oh no, you don't understand. I was level 13. First of all, I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty lately. Like, I am quite shocked at how much Call of Duty I've been playing this week because damn, Black Ops 4 is just my shit. And I haven't
Treyarch one, right?
Yes, and I haven't liked a Call of Duty this much since Black Ops 2. Like, I've enjoyed Advanced Warfare. World War II was fine, but Black Ops 4, I'm just like, I feel the need to play it. I feel the need, And it's just like, even if I'm not that good at it, just whenever I get the chance to just win a match or just like mow down a few people, it's moments like that where it's like, wow, that was very, very satisfying. And which has caused me to go back and play other Call of Duties. I played a little bit of Modern Warfare 2, not online, just the campaign. And I hope we get a remaster of that game next year, because next year it's going to be Infinity Ward's Call of Duty. And it's going to be the 10-year anniversary of Modern Warfare 2. That's going to be fun. And I just got Modern Warfare Remastered in the mail today, 2 weeks ahead of time. So I've been playing some of that too as well. But I know Kyle wants to know. I got, like, last episode, we took a break last week because Thanksgiving. Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee, been playing that. Not a Pokemon fan. I am now.
Yeah, it's a blast, dude. Oh, I was not. I was hyped for the game before it launched, and then it launched, and I was like, oh my gosh. It's been a blast. Like, a lot of people have asked me, and I think I explained this to you this way as well, Joseph, but like, people ask, like, oh, isn't it like super easy? I'm like, I wouldn't really say it's easy as much as it's just relaxed. There's hard moments, but it's never like you're gonna die now. Like, it's just it's like just relaxed.
Yeah, because the more you level up in that game, you would think the easier the battles get, which is some truth to it. But no, you get to a lot of hard battles the more you level up. And I'm on a part right now. First of all, I have not been playing the game nearly as much as my girlfriend, because she was just like, she used to play Pokemon as a kid. She played Pokemon Crystal because her name's Crystal. But she's just been loving Let's Go to the point where it's like she's been playing my Switch more than I have lately. Man, nice. Because well, for one, I'm just playing as much of my home consoles as I can because I'm going to be in New York next week and I'm going to be catching up on a lot of Switch games there. So I'm just like, let her have it for as long as she wants. And yeah, I've been jumping back and forth between Spyro, Call of Duty, and yeah, that's about it.
How are you enjoying Spyro?
Spyro's good. It's really good. It's I don't want to say there's something missing. It's just that my nostalgia is clouding it up because I'm like, oh man, Spyro 3 looks amazing, but I also kind of wish I was playing the pixelated version right now.
That's kind of how I felt when when Rare Replay came out. I was like, wow, like, granted, it wasn't an overhaul, but the resolution was bumped up. And so like going back and playing Banjo-Kazooie in that resolution, I was like, wow, this is really fun. I'm gonna go back to the Nintendo 64 now.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Like this is no fault of the game developers at all. The Spyro Being 9 trilogy is a perfect remake. It's absolutely perfect in every way, shape, and form. But I'm just like, oh man, I kind of wish I had the same feeling I had when I was a kid. But the only way I'm ever going to have that feeling again is when I go back in time and I'm 7 years old again. So,
and I think that does have a lot to do with how they had to do the remaster. They did build it from the ground up. So, I mean, while they are doing a great job at making it look as close as possible with animations and models and such, there's still a lot of things that they changed. Like the dragons models are completely different now as far as like one dragon to another. They're not all the same generic, you know? So like
voice acting completely different too.
Yeah.
With the exception of Tom Kenny, he's still Spyro, so that's really cool.
So yeah, I just think
yes, they totally did, and he is the perfect Spyro. Get out of here, Justin Long. Go back to Netflix.
Go back to Skylander.
Yeah, but
I wanted to ask you guys a question about remasters real quick. So we've had our fair share of remasters games that we grew up with getting the treatment, like Super Mario 64, got the DS version. We got Crash, we got Spyro. Do you think we're getting close to the point where there's not going to be any more remasters that are going to be like, oh, wow, we're getting this version, but like remade? Like, do you think we're going to eventually hit that point where, you know, there's no more games to really remaster that had an impact the way Spyro and Crash did? And we're going to be like, oh, well, cool. Like a remake of the Tomb Raider from 2013. Like, it's not really, you know, say it's like 2035 and we're like, you know,
man, that's a tough question. Because there are some games I still feel like could be remade now. Like Xbox should really jump on whatever Sony's doing with Spyro and Crash. Not really Sony, but Activision, but Sony is also doing Medieval remaster. I think what Xbox should do right now to test the waters for Banjo 3E or another Banjo game is to release that remaster, like that remake. Come on,
I would love that as well. I with an incremental upgrade as it is, with Rare Replay being in existence, I don't know if they could justify it. You know, it's a lot of money that would sink into that.
And they'd make a lot of money back because people fucking love nostalgia.
Oh no, I won't argue with you there. But would you? Let's say they are making another Banjo game, which. I just
you did it wrong.
I'm Mormon. Stop this.
Upside down. You gotta go.
Oh yeah. Anyways, so let's pretend for a second that they are making a Banjo, like a new Banjo game, whether it's a remaster, remake, or Banjo 3E, or Nuts and Bolts 2, or Banjo Pilot 2, Diddy Kong Racing. I don't know. Okay, a new game with Banjo in it. I would feel like they're like the people at Rare or whoever they're gonna license the game out to make it, because I doubt they're gonna make it.
They're gonna license it to Playtonic. Just watch,
dude. I would love that, because if they had some guy like, I mean, I think we've talked about my feelings about Ukulele before. I love it. They just need they need to.
Ukulele is not a bad game. It's just not remarkable.
Yeah. Anyways, so back to my original point. I think they would definitely have to sit down and say, okay, well, as a company, what is the best decision? Is it to re-release a game that we've already re-released, or is it to focus all our attention on making a new great game? And I think it would be the latter. I think that would be the best decision, both for fans and for as a business.
Hold on, I'm just telling my girlfriend I'll be podcasting until 9, so don't come into the room and just throw yourself on me like you always do. But yeah, I'm just
bragging. You got a bed.
Weird flex, but okay.
God damn you.
Strange muscle spasm, but acceptable.
Fucking hell. But I still feel like I'm not saying they need to, but I don't know. It's one thing to reignite interest in Banjo-Kazooie, the brand, by announcing a brand new game completely, but it'd also be much safer, I feel, to do a remaster of the first game, maybe even the first 2 games. Ballsy, I know, but I don't know. That's just my thinking. But if we're on
there's a lot of people that don't even know that Banjo-Tooie is a thing, and so
yeah,
I agree with you there. I don't.
Isn't Banjo-Tooie not nearly as good as the first game?
It's still great in my opinion. It's just like it's the nostalgia, you know. Like it came out, I don't know, 3-4 years after that, and I was already moving on to other games, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of nostalgia, I've been playing the Chamber of Secrets on GameCube.
Oh yeah,
fuck, it's not aged that well,
dude. I can't. Like, I was thinking about this because Joe, you know, I've been rewatching the Harry Potter movies this last week.
Yes.
Every day, I'm just like, crap. I need a Harry Potter game, like super bad. I almost bought the Lego collection on Switch, but I'm like,
so did I.
I don't want a Lego game.
Yeah, really.
I played those so much as a kid. I don't want to play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they're bad, like they're fun, but I just played them so much.
Yeah, but while we're on that,
games have dialogue.
They do now.
Yeah.
Okay, they do. Because I remember playing the Star Wars like trilogy sets like for PS2, and they didn't really have like dialogue. They were just like, you know,
not at all.
I mean, it was kind of, I mean, quality of the prequels, you know, aside, the pantomime was kind of weird.
Well, yeah, they did that they did that up to like Lego Batman 2, I think, and then they started doing their own dialogue. But some Lego games based on movies use the dialogue from the actual movies, like ripped straight from the movie, and it sounded super fucking weird. And I'm like, don't ever do that again.
Please stop.
just don't. But while we're on the subject of remasters, before we move on to the next topic, because the next topic ties into remasters, what game do you want to see remastered? Go, Alejandro.
Okay, so there's a really dumb top-down shooter called Out of Gas for the Game Boy. It's no one's ever gonna know about it unless you look it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah,
so it's one of those like dumb games. Like either you're a pair of like pilots in space. You ran out of gas. You got to go get some gas, and you like are shooting down asteroids and like space stations and stuff. Really dumb. I'd love
to this plot doesn't make any sense. How are you shooting?
Exactly. It's like you have a limited amount of gas to get around the map and collect more gas. It's very convoluted. Nonetheless, I played it like the hell out of it. Like I beat it several times over. I'd love to see it remastered because it would never happen. But
yeah,
that'll be something. Watch Game Awards announcement. Just
oh my god, if Jeff Knightley comes out,
Jeff Keighley, we got a new game coming out. This is a remaster. All right, Kyle, what about you?
A Link to the Past. I think that game deserves a completely reimagined remaster. I think if they went 3D adventure style rather than the top down, I think that would be just the coolest thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's because I can't cheat and say Banjo, and I can't steal yours, which would be.
It's actually not.
You can't use out of gas because I already took it.
Yeah, dang it.
It's actually not, Kyle. My
so
pick.
Technically, Link to the Past
would
be third. Well, it'd be fourth, but I know the third is a topic later, so I won't spoil it. So
nice. You can.
Is it A Link Between Worlds a remaster of like it's a reimagining and a remaster?
It's a sequel.
Like I've played it, so I know it's like a whole like different system, but it also has the same exact dungeons from the first game.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, well, some of them are the same.
Very similar, but
yeah. No,
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, no,
you're probably right.
It's been a while actually since I played Link to the Past anyway, so I should go back and.
Man, Link to the Past is tough because it's like there's a lot of hidden things that you would have never known. You can go the whole game without getting a single item. It's very strange. But yes, the thing I want remastered, remade, you know what it is: Metroid Prime Trilogy. For the love of fuck, just let it happen already. Nintendo, come on. What are you waiting for? Love me like you do.
It's not gonna happen.
Would you forgo getting a remaster if they came out and said we're restarting Metroid Prime as a new AAA trilogy, and then you're getting that instead of the remaster? That way, it's like it's totally thing, and then you get the original.
Totally, I totally would.
Because that's the question nowadays. Is like, would you rather have them divert resources to remaster a game?
Well, that's the thing about remasters, Alejandro. Since you have this false idea that remasters take away resources from making actual games, because it doesn't. What? Oftentimes,
are you high?
No, shut up, Kyle. Here's the reason why. Oftentimes, these companies, like if they ever do like another Master Chief remaster or some shit, they're not gonna get the company. They're not gonna get the development studio working on Halo Infinite. They're gonna get like Beanox or some shit to work on it.
What are you talking about? 343 made the Halo anniversary.
What I'm saying is because Nintendo did not do the remaster for Twilight Princess HD. That was another company that I forget.
So they paid the company to do that.
Yes, but
money is a resource, is it not?
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
So you're saying they used money to pay them, right? Like, I'm not saying that Nintendo themselves remade it, but you obviously have to use some resources to go, we gotta hire a third company because we don't got time for this crap to remake Twilight Princess.
Well, now that you talk about this, let me tell you something.
You can obviously tell the two people in this chat that know or that are learning how to make games, and the guy who just talks about it.
I hate you. So, first of all, resources for a Metroid Prime Trilogy HD remaster of sorts, that would be something worth investing into, because a lot of people on the Switch that haven't even played those games. So you get them interested in the Prime games through the Prime Trilogy HD on the Switch, they're more than likely going to want to buy Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, absolutely.
Wouldn't it be smarter to make a really like the way they made Odyssey and like Breath of the Wild, to make one of those kind of caliber games, but for Prime, to release that and get people go, oh my God, this game's really good. And then they go with the 1-2 punch and go, well, if you like that, here's the original trilogy. So you do that afterwards.
I don't know.
Because that way, if the trilogy like fails as in sales, at least that's money you lost. But you make a remaster, or you make a brand new game like Breath of the Wild, but for Metroid, people love that and go, oh my God, like this is like Let's Go Pokemon, but for Metroid, I love this. And then they go and they go, hey, we got other ones.
Yeah. And there's also the issue of burnout for players as well. Like, let's say the Metroid Prime HD trilogy comes out theoretically like in April, and then Prime 4 comes out late summer, fall. Okay.
If they're releasing a Prime, first of all, I think if they're releasing a Prime trilogy next year, we're not getting Prime 4 until 2020.
Okay, still, but regardless, let's just say Prime Trilogy HD gets ported to the Switch. That's 3 games that people are going to play, and they're pretty substantial games. They're no slouch. They're not 5-hour and you're done games like Spyro.
Yeah.
It's an actual game. I'm just kidding.
It's an actual game. Unlike Spyro.
It's not like Spyro, which is a tech demo.
Yeah, but so like they're gonna play those games. Like, wow, I'm really excited for 4, and then 4 comes out when Red Dead 3 comes out or something, and they're gonna be like, and they're gonna just be like, well, I'd rather play this. I played the first 3 last year. I'll wait. And so I don't think I'm assuming that Nintendo, in all their knowledge that we think they have, would rather you spend your money on the new game that costs more money to make than a rehash of a port.
Well, first of all, if those people aren't going to buy Prime 4 because of exhaustion after buying the Prime Trilogy HD, they're not Metroid fans to begin with. They weren't going to buy Prime 4 to begin with.
Yeah, but that is the critical problem why Metroid Prime hasn't sold well, is because they've only catered to the fans that already are fans. They don't try and outreach and get new fans, and that's just my opinion. But that's why I see as being a problem why Metroid Prime traditionally doesn't sell well.
What? Prime 1, buddy, was like a complete overhaul of the Metroid series as we know it. Prime 1, as we knew it back then. Separate Super Metroid, Metroid Prime 1, compare the two. One's a 2D side scroller, the other is a first-person adventure game. And like, sure, they have similarities, but to say it's only catering to the Metroid fan base and no one else, it's the top-selling Metroid game right now for a reason.
Okay, no, I can see what you're saying there, and I would have to concede to that as well. Maybe I jumped the gun on that a little bit, but I will say that I still stand by the belief that if Metroid Prime 4 is to succeed, they need to focus 100%. Well, I mean, it's going to succeed because it's on the Switch. Let's just be honest. It's going to sell madness. But if they want it to succeed as much as possible, then they're probably going to have to really focus in on that game and not divert resources to the trilogy being ported over. That's just my opinion, though. But
Nintendo's got a fuckload of money. They can. I would rather they prepare people with a Prime trilogy HD because, like I said, they need to get more people onto this train. And I don't think just going straight into Prime, because people see Prime 4 and they think, well, shit, I got 3 games to catch up with. They're not just gonna go, oh, because when you were talking about Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, they don't have numbers at the end of them.
yeah. Well, that's a big deterrent for the Final Fantasy franchise as well. Is people are like, I don't want to play 15 games before I play this one.
And then they're like, well, shit. Oh, wait, what? They're not connected at all?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. 13 has 2?
So I looked it up real quick, the Metroid sales, because I was interested to see how it compares. So the entire Metroid series in total, like all 3 games, has sold about 7 million. So that's total combined for all 3 games. Metroid Prime did 2.8. Two did 1.3, and then the third one did 1.6, and then the trilogy that they released like after the fact only did like 650,000 units, and that's I think sold to like retailers, not like I don't know if it's for customer.
Right.
Please don't remind me of that.
And that's considering Pokemon doubled that in its first week. That's, I mean, granted, Pokemon is like one of their biggest, but yeah, continue.
I just want Nintendo. I want this franchise to like have a really big bounce back. Like I want more people to get into it. They're really solid games. Like the Metroid. There's a reason why Metroidvania is the name of the genre.
Right.
Like, it would not exist without the series. But they need to figure out: do they want more games out now so that people can play them, or do they want to get people interested into the series or get them hooked for a new line of games? And I honestly think like 4 would be a great stepping stone. If they can make it accessible, but still like the game we've always wanted, which is a very tough order to, because that game's been awaited for a long time. But that's the challenge they face. I hope they can do it.
Well, look at Halo 4. That game sold really well, and it was like a new chapter. And I can imagine Metroid doing a very similar thing. Like, hey, all that stuff from the original trilogy that's in the past, Samus is going to go on this new adventure, and this is where it starts. So this is a great jumping on point. And they could say that in a trailer, and like that would be it. They wouldn't really need to explain that very much.
I still don't agree.
That's fine. Like, that's why we have these podcasts to talk about those, Well,
so we're about to have a heated debate in a second, but like, you know what, Kyle, this is directed at you. You know what Metroid needs to do to succeed? Stop releasing close to Halo.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No, that's
Metroid Prime 2, same year as Halo 2. Metroid Prime 3, same year as Halo 3.
How much you want to bet? Like they were like the developers of Metroid Prime 4. Has that been confirmed yet? We still don't really know what.
We don't know.
Is it Bando?
We don't know zilch.
Yeah,
we just know Kensuke Tanabe is a part of it. That's all we know.
So so let's say the developers, they put out that JPEG at E3 a couple years back just to like tease. And they're like, okay, so Halo, they're just waiting on Halo. So as Halo Infinite got announced, they're like, okay, let's go. And so now they're like busting butt to like get the game out. So
oh my god, they better not beat. You can't compete with Halo. Just don't. No, but I'm saying like
I think they need to capitalize on what the game is. It's not Nintendo's Halo, but it is, it's their sci-fi shooter. Yeah, it's their sci-fi shooter, and I think they need to lean into that. They need competitive online multiplayer. They need a story that has some deep lore, which I feel like they got better at in the second and third one. The first one, I'm talking about Prime in general, sorry, or exclusively Prime. But I think they need to lean heavily into that, even though that might like contradict what I was saying earlier about alienating some new fans. I think it would be healthy in the long run.
Alienating. No, I'd be totally fine with that. But man, that's the thing about Metroid fans. They're super fucking picky. Like Metroid Prime 3 came out, they were complaining, oh, it tried to be too much like Halo. Oh no, there's world building. Oh no, it's all about Samus being alone the entire game. And I'm just like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
And
it's that threshold you have to realize is there. I was listening to a podcast, and it was about the guy who created Community, Dan Harmon, and he was talking about like, there's a point where your fans come to you because they like what you're doing, but at the same time, if you listen to their feedback, what their ideas that they want you to do aren't the reason why they became your fans in the first place. It's the same thing with Nintendo, like because Nintendo fans want this and want that and want this done, that's not why the series became popular the way it is. It's really not up to the fans to go, this is where it needs to go. It's up to Nintendo to go, how can we bring the franchise to the roots that made it the way it is now? And that's the challenge they're gonna have to figure out is do they stick to the Prime format and like first person shooter exploring but Metroidvania in 3D, or do they do something new? Hopefully not like Metroid Other M. That game was all right.
Everything else about it wasn't.
Yeah.
The title was cool. The title was really cool. What's the Other M?
Mother Mom. Okay, but before, man, we talked about Metroid way longer than I ever wanted to. But let's get into the other things. Speaking of remasters, the series producer of The Legend of Zelda, Mr. Eiji Aonuma, he reportedly, this has all been reported, but it's like there's no footage of it, but we pretty much know what happened because people were there. It was surrounded by hundreds of, maybe thousands of people, actually. At the Symphony of the Goddess tour in Osaka, Japan, he took the stage and he said like something leading up to him saying, I know what you want, Skyward Sword on Switch, right? And then everyone cheered like, yeah. And so it's like, and then Eurogamer asked, everyone freaked out for one, thinking, okay, this is obviously hinting at Skyward Sword HD. And then Eurogamer reached out to Nintendo, and Nintendo said, we have no plans to release Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD on Switch. Big whoop. You know what else they said? No plans to release a DS Lite. 2 days later, DS Lite's announced. So we know it's coming. Let's be very honest.
That's a jump, but I see what you're saying, but I don't know.
Why would Eiji Aonuma tease something that's not going to happen? He knows his fans. He knows like they're going to take his word as gospel.
I have a tendency. I feel like every other day since this event happened, like I feel like one day I'm like, yeah, it's definitely happening, and the next day I'm like, no way, because like one, I have to ask myself, is he at every concert? Like if he's not, sorry, if he is at every concert, then this really means nothing. Like he was just cheering up he was like catering to the people at the show. Like, oh yeah, you just heard the Ballad of the Goddess. I know what you want. Skyward Sword on Switch. Haha. See ya.
I don't think well, I can tell you one thing. He's never going to like a concert in America or Europe. He's like staying home for that.
Right. So that makes me wonder, was he making an appearance to this concert for this purpose to kind of get the rumor mill started? Also, I'm not gonna like name anybody like in a way to criticize them and bash on them.
Commonwealth realm, those hacks.
A lot of YouTubers I respect have been putting words in his mouth. Because Joe, you said it pretty much from how I understand it to be like, hey, I know what you guys want. You want Skyward Sword on the Switch, but people are really putting words in his mouth, like, hey, yeah, we're gonna make that happen, or like the rumor is spreading like wildfire because people keep on adding something in there to make it more realistic.
No, that's the thing though. He knew this was gonna happen. So is he just really bored right now and he just wants to start false rumors? Because
it's hard, man. Like there are at least 3 rumored Zelda games to come out, so including this. The Link to the Past remaster has been rumored for who knows how long, and who knows if even that's a thing anymore or ever was. The next Zelda game being a remaster or a Majora's Mask to Breath of the Wild, like same engine, just crank this one out sooner, and then now the Skyward Sword remake. So like, which one do you believe? Do you believe them all, or do you not? It's hard.
I don't believe that Link to the Past rumor one bit. Let me tell you.
Yeah, but I want it to happen, but I would have to agree with you. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think the game is great on its own. I don't think they have any desire to touch it. Who knows? Maybe they might. But I think out of all 3, and this is why I bounce back every other day. It seems like out of all 3, I feel like Skyward Sword is the most likely. Just there's a lot of things that point to that. The only thing really, there's a couple of things that make me want to say, like, aside from Anuma's comment, I would say like its anniversary isn't for a couple of years, and who knows, maybe they just really want to make a big deal out of it in like 2021, right? So that would be its 10-year anniversary. So maybe they'll wait.
I don't thing about Nintendo and anniversaries is they don't really seem to care about anniversaries.
Yeah,
like ever. Like what is this? Wind Waker HD that came out in like what 2014, and that was 12 years after Wind Waker 1. Yeah,
but Twilight Princess was on its anniversary, right?
Yeah, March 2016. Game came out November 20.
But the same year, right? So, or a decade later.
They really did that to tide over fans because they know they're going to delay Breath of the Wild into oblivion. So,
right, that's true. Yeah,
so,
I mean,
I want to confirm what happened in the because I just looked at it. It was I think it was a single appearance at the concert. So he's not like part of the concert. So he made an appearance on stage at that concert, and he just what he said is, "I know what you're thinking, Skyward Sword for Switch, right?" And then everyone started applauding, and then he didn't say anything else.
Yeah,
so that was the whole thing.
Because if he said anything else, because if he said any more things, there'd be a lawsuit.
Yeah, and then I don't know when Nintendo comes out and says, "Yeah, we're not doing it at the time right now." That either means, yeah, we're not doing it, or we're doing it later on, so worry about it when it happens later.
Or 3, we're not supposed to announce this yet. We're supposed to announce this at the Game Awards a week from now, so we're just going to say we're not talking about it. Or Nintendo Direct.
I definitely think there is a Zelda announcement coming at the Game Awards. I think there's something, whether it's more DLC for Breath of the Wild or maybe it's a new Zelda game. But and then also I remember I've been seeing a couple things floating around about a multiplayer Zelda game happening that's going to lean heavily into like the Four Swords, Triforce Heroes.
The Legend of Zelda 76.
Oh my God.
Please no.
Please God no. Executive producer Todd Howard.
But the game uses Radiant AI to get the Triforce to you as soon as you can.
No, I'm with you on this too, Kyle. Every other day I'm just like, will it, won't it? Who knows? But hey, there's a video coming out tomorrow in the Commonwealth realm about it, so everything I'm saying is going to be meaningless. But
I do find this very interesting that a week ago, or however long it was before this happened, if you talk to you can look at my freaking channel every time I comment on a video like Skyward Sword is my favorite Zelda game. It's all like Skyward Sword is the worst. It sucks. Feet sucks. Motion control. Like it's just horrible.
It's pronounced Fi. Look it up.
Anyways, but then like all of a sudden, except for Alejandro and maybe Alan too, but he's not here to defend himself. but like suddenly everyone's like, yeah, I love Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword's great. I'm like, you weren't there. I waited 7 years in Azkaban.
I disliked it the entire time. That gives me credibility.
Yeah, I will give you that. Respect my friend. I don't know. It's just, I do find that interesting that like I'm happy. Like at least people are, they say they like it now.
Yeah, if they really like it, then I'm glad they're coming out of the woodwork to support it. If the port is coming,
I only played this game like 3 years after it came out, like 2014, and that was because I was excited for Zelda Wii U to come out. I thought it was going to be a year later. It turned out to be fucking 9 years later. Not really.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But like, man, when I played that game, I was aware of all the flaws. I was aware it's kind of motion controls. I was aware it's handholdy. I was aware Fi's a piece of shit. But like, in the end, I loved it. By the end of the game, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
This was just incredible.
The story is just great. And
undoubtedly the best Zelda story, hands down, I think.
Agreed. And it added so much to the lore in general, not for just Skyward Sword, but like Ocarina of Time was heavily mentioned. The story of Ocarina of Time was brought up in Skyward Sword, and it's just it all came together at Skyward Sword, and also a little bit of nostalgia. But this was the first game I ever bought a collector's edition for. So like this baby, and just like having something that I collected, that was like, this is a great Zelda game. So maybe that's hindering my opinion a little bit. I won't be ashamed to admit that, but it's what it is.
Well, I have like little nostalgia to it. I mean, 4 years ago, is that even nostalgia anymore? But yeah. I don't know. Nostalgia doesn't have a time. That's a time.
Yeah, it's a fond memory or feeling towards something of the past. That's.
But I just remember. Yeah, I just remember enjoying. What? I just remember even then enjoying that game so much. Granted, it might have been because I was thinking, okay, another Zelda game is coming. I am playing this to catch up. Maybe that's why I was enjoying it more. Maybe I'll give it another shot. But even then, it's just like, in the end, I really, really love Skyward Sword. It's probably in my top 3 or top 4 Zelda games of all time. For the reason of story, its presentation, the music, dude. Oh my god. And it's part of the reason why Breath of the Wild, I was just like, okay, music's not that great, story's not that great. I mean, take something from Skyward Sword. Come on.
Yeah.
if the two things you should have taken from Skyward Sword were the things you didn't put in there.
I've noticed something with Skyward Sword as it came to the death of its life cycle of purchases, and then Breath of the Wild kind of took over. But I've noticed that at least with these last two, and well, I guess even with Triforce Heroes, Zelda kind of tends to lean towards trends or a fad almost, you know? So like Skyward Sword I remember Skyward Sword getting 10s across the board when it came out. And then like 2-3 years later, everybody hates it. Breath of the Wild, when it came out, 10s across the board. And now everyone's like, well, I mean, there's this problem. I don't really think it's a 10 anymore. And then Ocarina of Time, like universally, like really great Zelda game. You know, everyone loves Ocarina of Time. Even that, everyone's like, it's super repetitive and it's boring. Like people, I feel like after a while, just feel Zelda or any Zelda game gets stale in their minds. So I don't know if that affects it as well.
Well,
that's my problem with it. I don't want to. I don't know. If you want me to just explain my thoughts real quick on the Zelda,
go for it.
I think so. My problems with Skyward Sword are gameplay, or the gameplay mechanics they built around the story. I honestly agree with you guys. The story is probably one of the best Zelda stories because it's an origin. It has to like do the heavy lifting of setting up what the franchise is going to be. It sets up the whole like these two people are going to be reincarnated and fight Ganon for all of time and eternity. They set up that story really well for the Wii being like the weakest console like of that generation, and it does a really good job of like the graphics, like the oil painting, like blurry bokeh effect and all that. It's like really well presented. My problems are with that in the effort to make it accessible. They dumbed down some stuff and just added some stuff where it's like, okay, well, you didn't need to tell me that I'm low on hearts because I can see in the corner that I'm low on hearts and I'm going to get it. And you came up for my sword to tell me, like wasting 20 seconds of my time to let me know the thing I'm already doing. That's my issue with the game. Not like the story. Like the story's fine. Impa, that whole like we reveal to when the Impa at the end, that's like one of my favorite moments of Zelda. Like because it's like it ties together. It's all circular. It's like it's a great story. It's a great Zelda story. But that's where I'm not a big fan of like story. Like Uncharted is fine. That kind of franchise. Last of Us is a great story. But if it's not like wrapped in a gameplay system that allows it to thrive, I think the motion controls like hindered it because I don't know. It's there's no really accessibility to it. Some people who can't even, if you can't move a Wii remote, you really can't play the game. That's kind of stuff.
That's something I understood later. As a kid, that was just a dream come true. You mean like I'm holding the Master Sword in my hand? That was great. But and I totally agree with you. Now that I'm older, I'm like, okay, if they do HD remaster, they have to include some kind of accessibility for those that have handicaps. Because
like the Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, like you had to shake the Wii remote to roll, but so you had to do that the entire time you wanted to roll. And then they ported it to DS, and they just made it a button, and like it fixes it, makes the game way better. That kind of stuff.
Well, and I mean, the gaming industry in general has been making like huge leaps and bounds to cater to those with special needs in this manner, like the Xbox accessibility controller. I feel like that is something that has been overlooked very critically in the past forever. And so now I'm so grateful as someone who has those with disabilities in my own family, getting to play games with them. Great moments and fantastic memories now that more games are coming accessible.
How much did Xbox pay you to say that? No, I'm just kidding.
I did get hands-on with it once, so that was cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
But there's an Xbox store like 20 minutes away from me, so
I don't even think is there even a Windows store in Sacramento? I don't even think so.
I don't know.
Not that I can. Maybe not if it's not in a Best Buy or something.
Yeah, maybe not. But the common complaints were, of course, the motion controls. There was way too many of them. Yeah. Dowsing was a big waste of time. And of course, Fi herself was just like, okay, just stop. Just relax in the sword for long. Come to me when you have something relevant to say. But
that's the typical Zelda companion, though. Navi was not any better or worse.
Yes,
you know,
Navi didn't take control away from your controls for like 30 seconds at a time.
Exactly.
She would just come up with like, "Hey, hey, there's an enemy." That's
okay. I hear you.
I'm just gonna brag on you for a second. It's not an opinion; it's fact. Navi made. Here's a sneak peek for the video tomorrow. Fi made Navi feel like a silent monk in comparison. Like,
oh my god!
I've honestly just never ever felt like Navi was that big of a problem when I played Ocarina of Time. And then Fi comes in, and I'm like, this is what people think Navi is like, but this Fi is factually worse. Like, oh my
I don't know. I like her as a character.
She's a great character. It's too bad the game had to ruin that.
And who knows, with the HD remaster, they could cut that out. Like, it's not that hard to be like, okay, just text on the bottom of the screen, we're good. You know,
and that's why this news or rumor is exciting, because they have a chance to make it a not playable game. It's already playable, but you know, they have a chance to fix those problems. Yeah, and this is also like a huge task to take on, because that game is designed, its mechanics, its dungeons are designed around motion controls. I had this conversation with Conrad. Conrad would always say, well, you know, the Joy-Cons have motion controls, problem solved. And I'm like, no, problem not solved. No. Exactly. I'm just like, how are you gonna play this game portably? Tabletop mode? Okay. You're playing it on a bus. Hit someone in the face.
Sorry. Gotta kill this boss real quick.
Which is why I'm like, what if this is a more ambitious remaster? What if it's like a remake from the ground up? Maybe this is why we haven't ever seen a Skyward Sword HD on the Wii U. Who knows how long they've been working on this? Because face it, Skyward Sword, it's a very, very, very essential Zelda game you have to play. And it's just a damn shame that it had to come at the cost of motion controls.
Yeah, it's very controversial in that way too. So I agree with you wholeheartedly there. I feel like there is some ways that they could just map it to like a right stick or something for the sword, you know. The Wii Remote and Nunchuck didn't have any right motion, you know, it was all just the left stick. So they could, you know, but I don't know if that's the best option. I think definitely reworking some stuff in the game would be the better option.
I agree. Wholeheartedly agree. Should we talk about what happened with well, now that we're done with Skyward Sword, should we go straight into the Game Awards nominations? Because we've been not Game Awards nominations, Game Awards predictions.
Right.
We were gonna do a rant on Fallout 76, but
we don't want to beat that dead horse more than it's already beat itself.
No, but hey, you can get 500 caps for that bag, I guess.
Which I found out, if you accept it legally, that counts as like it counts as a transaction, and it counts as currency. So you can't sue them because they reimburse you. That's why. So if you accept the 500 like caps in the game, you've given up your right to like take any action against them whatsoever.
Do you know anyone? I'm sure there is, but like, do you know anyone off the top of your head that is actually is taking legal action over that specific?
No, I don't know anyone specifically. I don't know. I'm just saying like the possibility of by accepting the money, you waive it because you've been reimbursed, and therefore you don't have a claim. I don't know if anyone. I don't know if it's worth it. Like it's just a canvas bag. Though I get that it's like misleading. You also did spend like $199 on the game for that.
And really, the big seller in that package was the helmet, right?
Yeah.
So
you got a good helmet.
Can I just say, I saw a comment. Someone said like no country road will take this game home.
Oh no!
So bad. But let's get right into it. All right, this is the second episode in a row we're talking about the Game Awards, so that's exciting. But we're going to talk more about it because it's an exciting time. Video Game Oscars is just the icing on the cake. Army O says hello there.
Oh, hello there, Army.
Oh, hi, Army.
Hey, Army.
Hi, Mark.
But anyway, Army's looking for recruiters for the next task. But like I was saying, the awards for this are the icing on the cake, because the cake is, of course, the world premieres. Jeff Keighley, the showrunner, he knows people mostly tune into the Game Awards for the world premieres. So he's definitely, I feel like every year he's been pretty consistent on the quality of the announcements, mostly. Maybe 2015 was kind of shaky.
Well, I feel like I think he even admitted this too, that he is taking up more, like he's building it up every year. Every year is bigger and better. I mean, that's kind of also PR talk. Like, who doesn't want to say that about their event? So I don't know. Yeah.
So let's get into these predictions. For world premieres / like just games we think we're going to see more of, like more trailers of this game or sorts. But we know Rocksteady is not going to be there, and it's what they're working on is not a Superman game. So there goes that possibility. So how we do this, in case you don't know, on Game and Talk is we do it like so. We do the most likely, which is like practically guaranteed it's going to happen. Sometimes it doesn't come true. Most times it does. Then we do kind of likely, 50-50 chance of this happening, or not likely at all, but you want it to happen. For the love of God, please let it happen. Dreams come true. Okay, we're going to go in order, starting with our most likely predictions. Alejandro, do you have one?
Most likely, more Death Stranding. We're going to see another trailer of it. Also, this game's like 3 trailers away from becoming Kingdom Hearts 3 of trailers.
With bad audio and all.
Yeah, maybe like missing sound effects, but I think we're gonna see more of more of Death Stranding. I think so.
All right, Kyle.
This is our most likely, right?
Yes.
I think that we are going to get a Halo Infinite gameplay trailer.
That would be lovely.
Yeah,
so lovely.
If not that, I mean, sorry if this is cheating, but if it's not that, it's Gears of War.
Oh, that's also very, very likely indeed. Yeah. I think I'm going to add on to your prediction, Alejandro. We are going to see more Death Stranding. We're also going to see The Last of Us Part 2, and they're both going to get release dates during that show.
Also, if anyone's in this podcast says, and it drops that day, I'm going to just shoot you.
I can't wait.
Just Banjo-Kazooie remastered, and it drops yesterday.
Amazing. Killing the game.
Rare, it's like, you guys didn't notice, but in Sea of Thieves, there's a cave where you can go and play Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh my god! In side note, in Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, you can play the entirety of Wolfenstein 3D on an arcade cabinet in your home base.
Oh, that's cool!
It's so cool. It's way better than buying the game on Steam, because the Steam port of Wolfenstein 3D is fucking awful. But yeah, perfect emulator. All right, Alejandro, what's your 50-50 prediction?
My 50-50 is gonna be you know what? Someone else go first so I can think more about it.
I was thinking the same thing. No, okay, all right.
I can go 50-50.
All right,
go.
So this is the same thing I say every event, but Banjo-Kazooie. Wait, hear me out. Banjo-Kazooie.
First of all, we are not on the no way in hell is this happening section.
Okay, I think 50-50 chance. The first Smash Bros. Or the Smash Ultimate DLC character is going to get its trailer. And it's going to be like January, February time, just like right after, maybe even with Piranha Plant, so maybe.
Okay.
But I think it's Banjo. And I feel like I have more reason now to believe this than ever before, because I gave up hope for a while there. And then all these things came up like, oh, rare games are coded in Smash Ultimate. There's a Minecraft bot. Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to say
that. Did you spoil the game just now?
I did not. But there's the Minecraft content has been confirmed more or less to not be Steve. Not to say he still can't be in it, but there is other Minecraft content already in the game's code.
Okay.
And so there's I don't want to get sidetracked here, but there's a lot of evidence that is posing Banjo to be a DLC character. So I think Nintendo and Microsoft at the same event could be on the same stage when they announce both Smash Ultimate DLC for Banjo and then Banjo 3E. I think that's like a 50-50 chance of happening.
That's I want to say Army in the comments wrote no Banjo at the Game Awards. That's why you're my favorite branch of the government.
Ouch.
Damn, I mean military government.
Same thing. They both harass me till I die.
All right. You still want to go, Alejandro, or I can go if you still.
I think I have mine. That rumored BioShock remake, or like the BioShock new one, like the
new BioShock. Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a 50-50 chance of like getting a small announcement about it. Maybe.
Yes. Joseph, remember when we played that in high school? Oh man, I remember us talking about that in the closet of the animation room when we were talking about the ending for BioShock Infinite.
Oh yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, that was one of my
wild.
That was great.
that game in general is just wild. It's a damn shame that company went out of business after that successful game came out. But anyway, my 50-50 chance is, of course, you know it. It's Metroid Prime 4. Give me Metroid Prime 4 at the fucking Game Awards. Nintendo, you're not taking up these nominations this year, so you need to make up for it with some kick-ass world premieres.
Yeah.
Just give me that world premiere. Not world premiere, but
Metroid Prime 4.
I thought you wanted Nintendo to save their biggest announcements for E3.
Well, in addition, here's the thing, Andis. Here's the thing. They announced Metroid Prime 4 at E3 2017, so lawyered. You have been lawyered.
No.
Oh, and while you're at it, with Metroid Prime 4,
that was more like politicianed.
Oh, hey, and Nintendo, while you're at it, Metroid Prime HD collection announcement there. Just saying.
You're getting one or the other, boy.
If they can't not announce a Prime trilogy HD without saying something about Prime 4.
Okay, I'll give you that. Okay, so if they talk about Metroid Prime 4 first, you know they're not going to announce Metroid Prime trilogy.
They might, but I wouldn't be upset if they didn't.
Yeah.
Because they already announced Prime 4, and I will already be in tears and won't be able to see the screen.
Metroid Prime 4 in June, or Metroid Prime trilogy in June, with Metroid Prime 4 being in like the holiday season, or the year after.
The latter option.
Interesting.
I'd rather that
have a new game, but that's fine.
That's fine. I'd rather you second. All right, Alejandro, what's your no way in hell this is happening prediction? But you want it to happen anyway.
So, this is so my not gonna happen prediction. I'm gonna go against the grain because it seems like every time we think something's a sure bet, it's always wrong. I'm gonna say there's not gonna be any Marvel game announcement at the awards.
Ooh.
But it's instead going to be the Infinity War sequel trailer.
Ooh, that would be kind of weird, but I'm on board.
Every time we go, oh, it makes sense they would release this at this time. They never announced the game. Right. They never announced the trailer. So I'm going to go, they're not going to do an Avengers. They're going to bring up Joe and Anthony Russo, and they're going to be like, here's the trailer for Avengers 4. And they're not going to release the title until the movie comes out. Like, you have to go and buy your ticket and sit down for the trailer to the title to finally show up.
It's going to be called Avengers Banjo 3.
It's going to be called Avengers Captain America Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or the Director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Avengers, we bought out Warner Brothers and we're doing Justice League all over again.
Avengers Age of Go.
Oh, no.
Okay, Army in the comments. What about the Skyward Sword remake? Man, you should have been here earlier. We talked about that.
Oh, we beat that horse to death.
Yes, so you can watch the whole thing later when this thing is on the channel.
But yeah,
basically, we think it may happen. We think it may not happen.
Yeah, it's like almost every other day we swap. So,
all right, Kairi, what's yours?
Okay? So my not at all. It's not going to happen. Okay, so Banjo 3E and Smash Ultimate Team.
Again, a two-parter.
What a twist.
What a twist.
Okay, so not at all gonna happen. Joey, why don't you go first? Because I actually need it. I mean, there's a lot of things that aren't gonna happen, but I think
I just figured out what I wanted to say.
Okay,
too.
Go ahead.
Just for the hell of it, Rockstar takes the stage and announces Agent for real. It's time.
They just gave up the trademark for it.
They just did what?
They just gave up the trademark for it. Like they're like they finally released it back. What did they came up as this game is called Agente. And it's like,
it has the mark above the
or you've been waiting for it. The game is coming out right now. It's called Agente. It's a top-down RPG.
You can download it after the show
on PS3.
Only microtransactions, and it comes with a PS Plus.
Oh, very nice. But here's a more realistic, not happening prediction. Bully 2 gets announced.
Ooh.
If we're going to be talking about it. There are rumors that they're casting for Bully 2.
There's also rumors they were doing DLC for GTA 5. And look where we are now, Joseph. Look where we are now.
Look where we are now. Look what happened. This is all your damn fault. All right, Kyle, your last chance.
So I think not at all going to happen. Microsoft is going to revive a dead project, whether it's Scalebound or the Megaplox Halo game, which I don't care what you say. It looked great. So I think
no, wait, the what?
Halo?
the Megaplox. You what? You
Never heard of this.
what?
Never
Oh
heard of
man,
this.
the Megaplox Halo game. It looked really great. They had gameplay and everything.
I'm gonna look this up because this sounds pretty badass.
It was like Megaplox being like, "Yeah, we're gonna make Lego games." But
Oh, for some reason I thought you said Roblox.
oh,
I was like, what?
So it's kind of like Gears of War Pop, but better.
yeah. So I think you probably scrap that project. Be like, we have a better idea.
Yeah, really. All right, that does her real good.
Don't reboot Megablox Halo. Army, okay, I need you to just take a chill pill, okay?
All right, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Game and Talk podcast. Alejandro, where can we find you?
You can find me on my Twitter at Rodega. You'll see me doing a bunch of pixel art for stuff that I'm working on. It's a secret, so shush.
So shut up.
Oh, and also you can find me at the Lunch Buffet podcasts. It's on Twitter. You can find us on Anchor. We just started doing sponsorships with Anchor, so we're gonna start doing like ad reads and stuff. So it's kind of cool. Hoping to build that up.
Fun.
Congrats.
Yeah. So
nice.
we're doing ads for so it's a small company. It's called Nintendo. My uncle works there, and he gave us $5 per person who watches it. Our CPM is 5 billion. Yes.
Nice. Kyle, where can we find you?
You can find me on all social media platforms, including my very own YouTube channel, Super Gaming.
Very nice. And you can find me on Twitter at Ferris Wheel Pro, along with Instagram. And you can find all our written works at nukethefridge.com. You can find my video works on Commonwealth Realm. We got a video going up tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. It's Skyward Sword HD. And Ferris Wheel Productions as well. We've got a video coming out before Christmas, I promise. You can hold me to that.
I will.
All right.
Hold you.
You're going to hold me. He's holding me right now.
Nice. I like.
Please let go. You're choking my. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye. Later.